Okay, Jack Steck, Missouri State University. I'm talking to you because there's been a lot of talk on different swim websites and things about taking a look at their system with D1 selection and different things we can do to promote the sport. This year there were only 12 swimmers, men's and women's meet combined, 12 swimmers who got invited to the D1 national meet who were not from BCS schools. Okay, now being a mid-major, let me know what you think of that.
Well, first of all, Sean, I appreciate talking with you. I've been in collegiate swimming for over 40 years, and I've seen a lot. And I've also witnessed the emergence of women's swimming, even when it was in the days of probably with AIAW, I believe, was, and then the NCAA went ahead and brought women's swimming in. I've seen it all. I've seen it from right down in the trenches with the NAI championships to Division I championships, and it's just to me, I'm in the twilight of my career, and it's kind of sad to a certain extent what's happening. And I can remember back, it's been quite a few years ago, but probably somewhere in about 6 years ago, maybe 5, we had a free relay here that was 2:56.2, which was a phenomenal relay. It was ranked 15th in the country in the national rankings.
Big deal.
Right. I mean, big deal. I mean, anytime you can take all the teams in Division I and have a relay team of 4 individuals ranked in the top 30 is a big deal, especially for a little school. And or a mid-major school, and we were so excited and so proud, and I mean, people that were behind us were people like Southern Cal and people like that. I mean, we were so doggone proud. I think there was only one team in the Big Ten that was faster than us. It was either Indiana or Michigan, I think, and real proud. And there was excitement building at school too, because this, swimming is a very objective sport. There's nothing subjective about it, and it's a time, whether it's in Springfield, Missouri or Tacoma, Washington. A time is a time, and we had the 15th fastest relay team in the country. And, we're aware that they place 16 to get points.
Yeah, so it seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, and man, this was going to be great, and we haven't really tapered or really. I mean, this was great excitement. Maybe kind of like Butler Bulldogs in basketball. It was. It's going to be so great, and all of a sudden the lineup came out of who was accepted, and the Bears were left off. And you talk about taking air out of a balloon. I mean, the athletic director came running in here and he said, "Why aren't you going?" And I said, "Well, they didn't select us." And he says, "Did you lie to me? I saw on the paper you were 15th best in the country." And I said, "No, the NCAA only takes 12. And he says, "Now you telling me they take 12 teams and they play 16? What's going on in this sport?"
And you look at past meet results, sometimes there's over 20 teams.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, they have 12 teams there, and then they make up people that, let's say Michigan's 400 medley relay hit a B time, and they're not on the list, but those swimmers are there at the meet, so they'll go ahead and be another team in the 400 medley relay." And he looked at me like I was nuts.
Yeah.
And he said, threw up his arms, and says, I don't understand your sport. And this was the athletic director of our institution, slammed the door and walked out. How much damage did that do to the sport of swimming?
Yeah. Well,
And there is no wonder, Sean, that programs are being dropped. I'll give you one other example how ridiculous this is getting. I, being a Division I coach, I'm kind of interested on who wins the national championship and who's going. And I'm proud of the sport, and I know other sports are listed in the news, USA Today, and when our swimming championship was going on, how smart we are as swimming coaches, as I think it was the Sweet 16 in the basketball championships and everything. The only blurb that I saw in USA Today, the national paper, was that there was this postponement of the meet because of sickness. They had a little burp about that.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
If you didn't have the internet, if you were Joe Pabst Blue Ribbon, reading the sports page and watching ESPN, you couldn't have told you if you paid Joe $1 million who in the heck won the national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, no idea. No idea where it was even being held at. And secondly, not even interested in it. And, that's the crutch of things. We are the only sport that I know of that doesn't have regional championships.
Yeah.
And the sport that I can draw the closest correlation with, being objective, timing and stuff, is track. The field events, even those are objective, how far you throw a shot put and how high you go up on the bar, on pole vaulting and things like that. And we do have diving, which is not related to swimming at all, which is almost purely subjective to a certain thing, with the scores and the degree of difficulty. And we do have the regional concept. Now we call it zones, which is stupid. Joe Sixpack thinks that a zone is a defense in basketball or football. We don't even call it a regional. And here I'm picking up the paper, and we're going from 64 teams to 96 teams in basketball, both men and women, and all the rest of the sports has region. I'll give you an idea. That year that we were talking about the relay, we had a pretty doggone good swimming team. And, everybody was proud, and I remember the volleyball coach come running in. When's your nationals? Well, they're in March, third weekend in March. Okay. When are you going to go? And we're not going. What do you mean you're not going? You won the conference championship, got 50. Well, we're not going. We're not. I don't understand why you're not going. And it's just the situation. Track, getting back to track, which is very similar to us, has regionals. You make a cut, and you're going to go to the regional. Now, I don't know whether these things are, how many they have, but I think it's probably 4 regionals. They select so many out of that, and then they go back to maybe the top 2 places or 3 places in each regional, and then they go to the best yearly times on individuals to fill in on their track meet. That's great, and that gives people a chance.